So that place, the first thing I visualize this meditation house. When I was meditating there, I had a wonderful experience, and I don't know why, what happened. And then after the samadhi, we used to do prayer meditation and some meditation there every morning and evening, and we had a very wonderful feelings. Slowly, some strange thing started happening. One monk came from South India. He comes here every year. He goes to Mansarovar Kailash every year. And he goes to Malaysia also every year. So when I go to Malaysia, I meet him in Malaysia also. He has a lot of followers in Malaysia. So when he came here, he is a mystic, a very advanced man of advanced consciousness. He doesn't speak English. He doesn't speak only Tamil. But when he was there at Samadhi, he had a wonderful experience. And now every year when he comes to Nepal for Mansarovar, he visits our Samadhi because he has a very wonderful experience. Then he told, he has come with a group of disciples, and his disciple also had a wonderful meditation. Then he told me that when he was meditating, he saw in astral body many Buddhist monks, Edo robe, all around, surrounding the Samadhi. And then he started telling me some mystical thing, that this place is very special. And below the Samadhi, because Buddhists they used to bury their monks. So he said that many monks have been buried inside, and it is a natural shape. If you go to Samadhi, it is a natural stupa shape, earthen stupa. We have not met it. It is a natural stupa shape. So he said that originally it was a stupa, and half of it has slowly damaged, and half it still remain. And there are many enlightened body has been buried inside. And then many monks come here from all tradition. I am open for all sannyasi and all swami from any sect, and they all visit. Today also there were a lot of Buddhist monks from Thailand. I was talking to them just a few minutes before. So many of them had a very mystical power. They indicated me a few things, and then I started getting also some experience. Then whole story, I will tell you. If you go into detail, it must take much longer time. So I tell you the conclusion. The conclusion is that Nagarjuna has come here 2000 years before, which is couple of disciples, group of disciples from Nalanda, and he has meditated in this forest for 28 years. That's why this forest is called still Nagarjuna forest. And he became enlightened because he was not fully enlightened when he was Chancellor of Nagarjuna. He had started on Nalanda University. He was a great scholar, very powerful meditator. He had very mystical power, tantric power he had, but he was not fully enlightened. So his students and his fellow travelers, because Nalanda was a meditation university, and there are 1200 teachers and 10,000 students from all over Asia, and 1200 teachers. So some of the teachers started meditating and they became enlightened. Some of his students became enlightened. So in Nalanda University there were many enlightened people, but Chancellor himself was not fully enlightened. So he resigned from the post. He said, I will go to the Himalaya and I will meditate and only come back if I am enlightened. If I am not enlightened, I will leave my body in Himalaya. So he came to Nepal. That time this area was called Mount of Affluence. Samriddhi Ko Pahad. This area was called. Later on it is called Nagarjuna Hills. That means it was called Mount of Affluence. So he came here and meditated in this whole area, Jama Chowk also. Many places he meditated. They used to move because seasonal. When there is a winter, they used to find out different place. When in the summer, they used to go to different place. They have a hut, a small hut. So they have meditated in different spot of this area, Nagarjuna forest. But the exact spot where he attained enlightenment after 28 years of arduous practice is the tree under which we have made a Osho Samadhi. So that fact revealed to me by many masters, half a dozen of mystics, and my own mixed experience of meditation, and which was confirmed by my own master, Osho, and by many other masters. So I want 1000% sure about it. So Nagarjuna became enlightened under that tree. And some of his disciples who has come from, because Nagarjuna was from South India, and they were not accustomed of Himalayan cold. And those times there was a snowfall in this area, because the climate change has now made Kathmandu a warmer place. 2000 years before, there used to be snowfall here also. Because when Anand has come here in Kathmandu, he has also reported that he has suffered because of the heavy snowfall in Kathmandu Valley. So, Nagarjuna, some of his disciples, because of the cold climate, they could not stand the Himalayan cold. They were from South India, and they didn't have heater or other modern gadgets. They were living in hut. So some of them died due to cold, and their samadhi, they have buried them under the same land where we have made samadhi. And one monk is buried just at a spot where, by chance, this is also a mystery, that we made a Shivpuri temple there, just below in a body of a enlightened Buddhist monk. That's why you feel so much energy there. So those things revealed to me much later, and I went to Nalanda and Rajagiri and then collected, reading their literature, books. The whole thing become clear that it is a historical fact. So that spot is especially charged, and that's why we are called here. Actually, indirectly, Nagarjuna has invited us to build a commune here, because he wanted that this place should attain its glory and people should use for its meditation, because a dozen of enlightened people have been buried here, and this is the place where he became enlightened. So it has a potential, so people should take advantage. So we are very fortunate that we have been given an eternal Buddha field. To create a Buddha field is very difficult. It takes much longer purification, but we have been given a already ready-made Buddha field with so much spiritual energy, and we have made it more charged by regular meditation, chanting, prayer, kirtan, arati. We are making it more charged. It will become stronger and stronger, more stronger Buddha field. Actually, now I realize that I was born just to fulfill this existential plan. After Tapovan is built and after Osho Samadhi is built, my task is finished. No? Even if I die, I don't lose anything because I have done my duty. No? Actually, I should have left my body after Tapovan is built and Osho Samadhi is built. I have nothing more to do. My task is finished. In all that was the purpose for which existence gave me this body. So that task is finished. But existence wants to linger me, to carry on few more years. Okay, देखा जाएगा. Otherwise, I have no more longing. The biggest longing, the biggest desire. यो कति जन्मको तपस्या थियो, कति जन्म, यो एक जन्ममा हुँदैन, यस्तो कुराहरू धेरै जन्म लाग्छ. यो त्यस कारण तप नबने भए मलाई फेरि एक जन्म एक्जिस्टेन्सियल टास्क हुन्छ, मान्छेले फुलफिल गर्नै पर्छ.